recording. Now you can start being awkward. Oh, hi, Tofu.
Whoa, Tofu!
Oh, your mom's home.
Yeah, if anyone has a dog, please hold the dog.
She's gardening, so she's walking back and forth in the front and the back of the house.
Oh, who's that? Oh, since we're sharing dogs. Marley, come here.
His name's Otis.
Oh,
Say hi. He's
He
very
looks
old.
like Otis. Come here, Marley.
Say bye. Hi, Otis.
oh my God, so cute.
She just got bathed too, so she's all nice and fluffy.
Here, look at this guy.
Whee!
That's Ziggy.
Hi, Ziggy. This is Marley. Ziggy Marley.
Oh, Ziggy, look, say
Ziggy.
hi to the puppy.
Oh, this is cute. What's Lila doing? Is she making dinner?
Excuse
Tea?
me. Sweet and spicy.
I'm gonna make some tea, but it had CBD in it, and I was like, maybe not right now. Where is this? Oh, so you can like scroll and then wait, is that Ben working out?
Oh, we got Ben. Are you on a treadmill, Ben?
Let's go.
Hey, I'm not mad at it. Killing two birds with one stone. Oh, we got Trinidad in the house again.
No, Mike gets out. Mike, you're not welcome. Thank God. There's Kenny.
Hi. Oh.
Figure it out, Kenny. There it is. You want Kenny? Can you hear us? Oh, he's off again.
You went down?
Oh.
Hey, Bobby, why do you look so mad right now?
Bobby has half sun face right now. It looks
I have sun face. Let me go over here. See, here's this, and then this. It's the same.
So you just have to go in the middle, so you're like this.
I don't know how that would work.
All right, another minute or two. I know Kenny's having a hard time logging in, so we'll try to give him another minute to get back on here.
Who?
I'm like scrolling and see. Trinidad, can you get yourself together, please? Come on.
Sorry, I'm trying to clean my engine right now.
Oh, that's what they all say.
Hey, were those your real glasses that you were wearing earlier?
Yeah, when I was in front of the computer.
Did you guys know Mike wears reading glasses?
Because he's old.
They're like spectacles. They're like
Come on.
they're like straight up like
So
they're like Harry Potter like.
yeah, they're badass.
All right. I think Kenny's just having issues. Oh, we got a good amount of people on here. Okay.
Can you see?
We'll give Kenny one more minute to see if he can get on. He's texting me he's having issues.
Yeah, it's funny because he comes up and goes bye-bye.
Bad. Okay. All right. I don't know where he is. We'll find out. We'll get started. All right, everybody. Welcome to the nutrition panel for the Tribe Stronger Than a Virus Health Challenge. Again, we'll be posting this online for the people who couldn't make it so that they can watch it afterwards. Basically, why we're doing this nutrition panel is because for the last couple health challenges that we've done, what we've found, or not what we found, but what we've kind of, the stance that we've taken on nutrition is that a lot of nutrition plans work, right? There is a lot of different, what up, Tim? Mugging. So there's a lot of different types of nutrition plans, right? There is macros, there's zone diet, there is paleo, there is primal, there is Atkins, I guess, is kind of similar. And then there's all these other different ones all across the rainbow of diets. There's, you know, Weight Watchers. But for a lot of these nutrition plans, they work. They all work. The only difference is between it working and not working is you actually following it. So even within the gym, there are a number of different individuals who follow their own different nutrition plans, and they do just fine. Oh, if you're not talking, if you guys could just mute yourself so that way there's not a ton of feedback. And then if you do have questions for the panelists, I will be monitoring the chat so that way you guys can just ask your questions in the chat room. And then I'll have the panelists kind of speak or answer as they wish. So we like that coughing into the elbow. So with that said, let me introduce everybody that we have here. I think Kenny still hasn't been able to figure this out. So once Kenny gets on, we'll introduce Kenny. But a lot of you guys know many of these guys. So the first one over here, the guy who looks like he's on some sort of rap video with his headphones on and looks like his Ring doorbell is Bobby, Coach Bobby from the Burn Method. So hi, Coach Bobby. We also have Toto, Tortilla, Tortilla, or Doc Toto, who is also a chiropractor by trade. And then we also have Rasmi Com, who a lot of people call Ramsey, but it's Rasmi. The S is before the M. Owner of meals.com. So they deliver food to our gym. It's very, very yummy. And then Kenny, when he gets on here, is the owner of California Sports Nutrition, which is a supplement store over in Hawaiian Gardens and Whittier. Really, really super knowledgeable guy when it comes to anything about supplements and nutrition. So the way this is gonna work, I'm just gonna have them kind of introduce themselves, give a little bit of background on who they are and why they think I invited him to be on this panel. And then their approach to nutrition, and also maybe kind of a little bit about what they've had to do or adjust during this time of isolation and social distancing. Because I know a lot of us have had to make lots of adjustments, like me not walking by my fridge every 5 minutes because I'm bored and I don't have to eat, but there's really nothing else to do. So anyway, without further ado, let's get started. Who wants to go first? Ladies first? Okay, Tori, you're up.
I was not. That's okay. I thought he was going to go in the same order, but hi. I'm Toto, Tori, whatever you'd like to call me. I basically follow, as most of you guys know, the macronutrient approach or the flexible dieting approach. And I've said this 1,000 times to you guys probably, but it's basically a balance of protein, fat, and carbs in grams that you would hit every single day. The idea behind that is you're getting the same amount of nutrients every single day. So that way you're regulating your metabolism and you're not, eating very, very minimal amounts and then spiking it with an increase in calories the next day. And the idea is that you are fueling your body properly in order to meet your goals, whether that's weight loss, composition goals, or even just energy, strength, that kind of stuff. I've been doing it for about 4 years now, and it's pretty much a staple in my life. Even when I take time off, it's what I always fall back to. I know a lot of you guys kind of know the gist of it. I've worked with some of you before. In this time, I'll open up a little bit. I am very, very empathic, if you will. So I've been cycling, like I'm sure a lot of you have, with bouts of super, super high anxiety. And then 30 minutes later, I feel totally fine and the world is good and I have nothing to worry about. And then again, an hour later, I'm spiking and coming down. And with that, in this uncertainty of times, I've noticed that I am a very, very emotional eater. So I tend to eat my emotions. A lot of times people, when they experience things like this, sometimes they don't eat at all because it makes them nauseous. But for me, I like to eat pints of ice cream and bake and go out of control. So that's been me. Don't nod your head, Bobby. So that's been me the past week, to be completely 100% honest with you. After my Saturday meet, I binge ate for like 3 days, got back on track for a day, then binge ate again because I was feeling anxious. And it even happened just last night when yesterday was my day. I was ready to get back on track, and I ended the day with ice cream that was not logged into my macros because I was having anxiety. My mom and I were talking, and so I just ate some ice cream, and there went my macros for the day. Today, I am proud to announce that I am completely on track, and I got my workout in and I hit my macros for today. The thing that I like about it right now is it gives me a sense of control when a lot of the things around us going right now, we don't have control of them. A lot of times people like to or steer away from macros because it's too hard to hit your numbers day to day because of family, because of work, because of social events. And right now, a lot of that isn't going on. So it's actually an easier way to hit your macros now because we are essentially stuck at home. So it makes it easier because 90% of the time, the only thing that I have to eat is what's at my house. And so hitting my macros is actually a lot easier that way. And like I said, mentally, it's giving me a sense of control where even though I have this anxiety about the world around me and what's going on, I know that I'm in control of what my body consumes and what I put in my mouth. So that helps me a lot during this time, even though I'm just kind of getting back on track. The biggest change that I've made in regards to my macros is just the distribution of numbers. I do a lot of, as most of you know, like I do a lot of weightlifting. So that's high volume and high load when it comes to weights. So I usually eat like between 170 to 200 grams of carbs a day because I need that in order to fuel myself. But I've noticed since I'm only doing backyard workouts and at-home workouts that aren't necessarily have a high load or necessarily intensity really, because I'm kind of easing back in, I have dropped my carbs significantly because I don't feel like I need those carbohydrates to fuel the type of training that I'm doing. So I went from 170 grams of carbs a day, or almost like 180 grams of carbs a day when I was training weightlifting, and I dropped it down to 145, which is a pretty big jump, but in turn, I've upped my fat. So instead, I'm eating a lot more fat because I don't have that immediate resource for training. So that's the biggest thing that I've done. A couple people who have emailed me and wanted macros done, that's kind of what I've based it off of, especially if your training load has decreased a lot. I generally kind of decrease the carbs and increase the fat because you don't really need that immediate energy and glucose necessarily. And it's something I'm just training with or playing with, I should say. Other than that, that's the biggest change that I've done. I'm still using macros and using MyFitnessPal in order to hit my nutrition, but it's just kind of altering what I'm eating to correspond to how I'm working out. So yeah, that's it, I guess.
Thank you, Tori.
You're welcome, Warren.
Who wants to go next? Rasmi or Bobby? Either one. Okay, Bobby, go ahead.
Go unmute this. Can everyone hear me? Yeah. Oh, I see some head nods. Also, Ben, you're killing it in there. I see you. Keep it up. I don't think you heard that. Okay.
I think he just fell in.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Keep going, Ben. You're kicking ass. I kind of like to follow Tori because I follow the zone diet, which is very similar to macros, except for each meal has to be an exact proportion of your daily requirements. So each day, just like macros, you get a daily requirement that you have to hit by the time you wake up, or from the time you wake up till when you have to go to sleep. Make sure that you've hit your protein, carbs, and fats. Except for zone, each meal is a smaller portion of that bigger piece of pie, if you will. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner are the exact same amounts. as far as the macronutrients go. It's a little bit more thought-provoking. I'll take that. So if you like to think, that's probably this is probably your go-to diet. You have to plan out all of your meals, so there's a lot more planning involved. But once you pretty much find your routine, I mean, I'm probably speaking for everyone here when I say you probably eat the same thing every single day. I mean, let's say in a span of a week, you probably have a few go-to meals, right? So once you learn Lexi, don't lie. Once you learn what your go-to meals would be, it's just about kind of curbing those to make sure that each one is the exact proportion of your daily requirements. It all ties back to performance. You want to support performance, whether you're running a lot, lifting a lot, doing CrossFit, all that kind of stuff. There's ways to tailor it all towards your specific goals, especially if there's like weight loss goals or if you're trying to get into bodybuilding. My goals is strictly performance, so that's all I really focus on. And if I have to adjust anything, it's because I want my performance to benefit from it. Which brings me into this whole quarantine thing. I haven't really needed much performance because I'm doing home WODs, right? So Tori kind of alluded to that. Intensity is low. Load is pretty much low. I'm not really lifting any barbells or squatting a ton or deadlifting a ton. So as far as that goes, I've curbed back a little bit, not too much, but yeah, still eating exactly the same way other than that. But yeah, that's the zone snapshot.
Thank you, Bobby. We got Kenny back on. He's driving, so we'll give him a little bit more time to get home. So we'll let Rasmi start or go first.
What's up, everyone? I'm Razmi. So, like Tori and Bobby, I follow very similar eating habits. I like to stick to a specific amount of calories that I intake on a daily basis, and then I just break it down to meals. And then I'll just consume those meals throughout the day in a time sequence. So I'll eat my breakfast in the morning, and then like 2 to 3 hours later, I'll eat again. And then 2 or 3 hours later, I'll eat my third meal, and then so forth. So that's kind of how I've been doing my meals. But since this quarantine thing where we're staying home, I've found it very difficult to like exercise, especially being at home. Being at home and exercising has been difficult for me. So I've cut back my meals. I was doing about 5 meals a day. Now I'm doing like 2.5 to 3 meals. So just for this quarantine stuff, I've just been cutting back my meals, which made it a little bit easier for me to adjust. And it's been working out for me a little bit. And yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing. I'm more of like an intuitive eater. So I try to just stick to leaner meats, veggies, and just whole grain foods. Can you guys hear me?
Cool. Thanks for asking me. Sorry, I was taking my tongue out of Cameron. Hi, Cameron. All right, last one. Before we open it up, actually, I'll say something afterwards too, but last one, second to last one, Kenny, who's rushing home from work.
Yes, I am trying to drive home. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. For me, for my nutrition, I count macros, and my caloric intake, obviously with us being quarantined and the gyms closing, I have to adjust my calories according to workouts and my daily routine. Obviously, I'm not doing as much volume as I usually do for my workouts. So my caloric intake, I've actually dropped it by about 500 calories just to make up for that. but I do intermittent fasting. So just as a way to help me get through my day a little bit easier, I typically don't have my first meal until like 1 or 2 in the afternoon. But again, my calories are always being adjusted by activity level throughout the day. My protein content, though, is generally staying the same. I think Tori had talked about manipulating carbohydrates and fat content, which is something that I do on a daily basis. So, you know, if I'm very inactive that day, my carbohydrate drops a lot, and I'll actually increase my fat content a little bit just to make up for that caloric deficit, but still giving me enough energy to survive throughout the day. But because I'm not expending a lot of energy, I don't require as many carbohydrates. So I'll swap it out, you know, with fat content. But my calories, it's all being adjusted kind of on a daily basis right now. You know, there's some days where I'm having 2,500 calories, some days where I'm having 3,000 calories, just depending on the activity level. But it's usually the fat and carbohydrate content that is always going to be manipulated for me.
Cool. Thanks, Kenny.
Yeah.
And then I'll just say for me, I am more of an intermittent faster than anything. And more than the more, me usually, again, I don't probably, like on the days that I fast, which is about 12, before this whole thing, it was about 3-4 days a week. I wouldn't eat till about 1 o'clock, so 16 hours from the night before. And so then when I would eat, I would follow more of a kind of a restricted macro diet where I was, you know, my meals would include a certain, you know, a proportionate amount of protein, carbs, and fats. Now that we have gotten into this social distancing and I'm not working out as much as I have been pretty much trying to fast every day. And I have definitely decreased my overall caloric intake, which is hard because there's a lot of food in this house. And I find myself looking in the fridge for something to eat, which is why I made it a priority that when we went grocery shopping, I needed to find some more go-to snacks that wouldn't really completely destroy my day-to-day caloric intake. So that's pretty much what I've done, is having to adjust just the type of snacks that I have around the house and minimize my snacking. With that said, I'm going to open up to questions. I know you guys have specific questions that you guys want answered. No? Okay. Bobby said no. So, all right, guys, panel's over. See you guys. Anyway, so whoever has a question, go ahead and you can either, well, there's not too many of us. So if anyone wants to unmute themselves and ask their first question, anyone want to raise their hand and go first? Raise your hand. There we go, Deanna. I am going to unmute you right now. Go ahead.
It's not so much can you remind us of Kenny, the name of Kenny's store again?
California Sports Nutrition.
Oh, okay.
Yes, 2 stores. The one called.
He recommended something in our last class, not turmeric, but something else. Remember, like not turmeric, but there was or maybe it was turmeric.
Curcumin.
What is it?
Curcumin.
Okay. I couldn't remember that thing. Okay.
You want to give them a quick run through about turmeric? Because I know a lot of people turmeric's been a hot topic lately. So I know Kenny has a lot of info about turmeric, and there's a lot of false things that people will be telling you, but I know Kenny can break it down real quick. If you are going to be taking a turmeric supplement, what are the benefits? And if you are going to be taking one, what should you be looking for? Floor is yours, Kenny.
The actual extract that you want out of turmeric. So you want curcumin. You don't want turmeric per se. Curcumin is what's doing all the work for you. It's a very, very powerful anti-inflammatory for the body. It's something that I take on a regular basis to keep inflammation down, especially right now, kind of with everything going on with COVID-19. Keeping inflammation down in the body is a way to keep the immune system boosted, but it's also great for joint support or joint health. Yeah, there you go. But curcumin, a lot of times with joint discomfort, has to do with inflammation. If you can keep inflammation down, obviously your joints will feel a little bit better. It's not going to 100% solve it, but it's a way to, kind of make yourself feel better. But the curcumin that I take, it's a very specific form called C3 reduct, but it's a very high purity with a very high absorption in the body, which is something that curcumin is plagued by. It's very hard to get it to absorb in the body. So you want to pair it with something like bioperine or black pepper extract to get it to absorb better in the body. The one that I take has a extract in there called estrogen. It's derived from the astragalus plant, very heavily studied in humans for its ability to actually improve curcumin absorption. I think it was like 33% better absorption in the body when paired with curcumin. But that extract will also help with your amino acid absorption as well too throughout the day. I think it was like a 67% increase in just overall amino acid absorption. So all of the protein that you're intaking with it can get that absorption. But I like the C3 reduct form of curcumin for all of that.
Thanks, Kenny. So just to review, curcumin and turmeric paired with a bioperine. Anyone else have a question? No one else has questions. It can be
Looks
very
like
short.
D. Watson has a question.
Oh,
So can
another
you have
one?
him talk about ashwagandha? I don't know what that is.
Oh, oh, there you go. Warren, can you have his talk about ashwagandha? Ashwagandha, Kenny?
Yeah, so ashwagandha, I know that's it's becoming more and more popular now. But ashwagandha, it's an Indian herb, and I think it's like roughly translated, it means like stinky horsetail or something like that. I forgot what it was, but ashwagandha, there's different forms of it. So depending on what sort of ailment that you are trying to supplement with, there's different forms. There's a sensorial ashwagandha. The more popularized one is KSM 66, which is something that I take. That is something that helps to regulate cortisol in the body, so that stress hormone. It allows us to bring it back down to homeostasis in the body. I always describe it as kind of your body's own natural thermostat, and it does this by regulating cortisol. Just like a thermostat, if it's too hot, the AC kicks in. If it's too cold, the heat kicks in. Ashwagandha is doing that in your body with your hormones. So if you have too much stress, the ashwagandha is going to bring it back down to normal levels, homeostasis. So when that happens now, you have more natural energy throughout the day because cortisol is that stress hormone that a lot of times derails people's physiques by making us have an increase in fat and water uptake. So it can help to lean out your physique. But in men, it actually indirectly regulates our testosterone levels as well too. So you'll have an increase in free testosterone in the body, so you'll feel better. In women, it helps to keep estrogen within normal levels, so you don't have an increase in estrogen in the body. But it's just a natural way to regulate hormones in the body. More specifically with cortisol, which is that one hormone that needs a lot of regulation now with the amount of stress everybody has.
I definitely need that. Thanks, Kenny. Let me take a step back because I think what I want to also ask you guys is, with all the things that are going on right now, and well, not all the things, but with the one thing that's going on right now and all of us stuck in this social distancing and isolation, what are maybe a couple of things that you guys think that are easy for people to do in terms of getting their nutrition under control? Because I know, right now everybody has a lot of time to focus on it, but maybe people don't necessarily know where the best way to start. So maybe you guys have some advice for the folks in terms of, you know, what are one or two things that you guys can easily do to, or habits that you can, oh my God, maybe I need to get a hoodie. What are the two things you guys can easily implement into your daily lifestyle, given this current situation that could, you know, go a long way? Bobby, you look like you really want to answer this one. Anyone? Tori, go ahead.
No, Bobby, you go. Okay.
Tori, go.
Sure? Are you sure? Okay. It just popped into my head.
Okay.
The one thing that I've been trying to do, and that my mom and I actually started doing, I tweeted this the other day, is just being resourceful. So the biggest thing, whether you're following macros or whether you're just watching your calorie intake, etc., I think the biggest thing we can do is be resourceful during this time. A lot of stress and anxiety, people are saying like, oh, this isn't in the store, this isn't in the store. I don't have my regular turkey, meat, whatever. The biggest thing I'm doing is usually I typically always have 3 egg whites in the morning. And what I've started doing is doing 2 egg whites in the morning. And it seems really, really like minimal, like it doesn't seem like it's a big deal, but making that stretch a little bit longer just to give myself a little bit of a sense of calmness. Cause I'm like, okay, well, if I usually have 3 every day, now if I'm only doing 2, then I'm gonna have like a couple extra days of me not having to go to the store, or just making things last a little bit longer, to stand on the platform a little bit. I think everyone who went out and panic shopped and all that kind of stuff, you don't realize how much you can actually get out of what you have, because we're so used to having an abundance of it and being able to go directly to the store right away. Oh, I need dinner tonight. But when you look at things, I think the biggest thing is to just be resourceful and make things stretch out a little bit longer. If you usually have 3 ounces of meat at dinner, maybe try 2 and just get your protein elsewhere, so your supply is just stretching and lasting a little bit longer. So be resourceful, and don't be afraid to have weird meals. If that, like, I don't know, I think that comes with being resourceful, but my dinner tonight was like stir-fried veggies, and I had 2 pancakes with jelly on top of it. You know what I mean? Because it's like I needed some carbs. So it's like I wanted to make sure I got my vegetables. So I had
peanut butter and a tortilla, right, Mike?
What?
Peanut butter and tortilla.
Oh, that's so good. No, that's so good.
See? Heck yeah.
But you know what I mean? It's like, I think,
Not the only one.
especially right now, people are thinking like, oh, well, I usually have my steak and veggies and sweet potato or whatever. And I think kind of just being able to make a little bit of weird meals, it's really not the end of the world. Get your vegetables in, get the carbs in, get the fat in. And even if it's in a weird way or a snacking way, it's still food. I think people are a little bit, we're spoiled, you know what I mean? And I'm kind of using this time to realize that we don't really need to be this spoiled to survive, quote unquote, because we're all going to be fine. But I think don't be afraid to be resourceful and to make weird meals work, because it's still food and it's still sustenance, and don't be too spoiled when it comes to that. So those are my 2. So
I like that one. In terms of, I got one to add for the resourcefulness.
Yeah.
Making food that lasts, that goes a long way. So like stews and soups and chowders, right? You could stuff a lot of good stuff in a soup. Like, for example, my wife has been on this kick of making, what is your soup called? She's right here. I'm calling her out.
Hearty.
She likes to call it like a hearty chicken meatball soup, where she basically just stuffs in like a chicken broth. It's just a lot of different vegetables, and then she'll like throw some like healthy like turkey meatballs in it, or just ground turkey in it, and she'll just toss it all into the soup. And really that will last us for a good 3 or 4 days, and we can get a good 3 or 4 meals out of it. Can add some rice into it if we want to add some carbs, right? So it's an easy way to control your carbohydrate intake, right? If you work out, add a little bit more rice to get some more carbs in there. If you didn't work out, then don't add the rice, right? So, you know, a lot of different stews. Like I always, there's one that I really like. I used to make a lot. It's called like a primal jambalaya, which had a ton of different stuff in it. And you can make it with like cauli rice and add whatever proteins you wanted into it. You get like andouille sausage or crawfish or I don't know what else, but there's like a lot of different things that you can do. So I think if you're looking for food that goes a long way, where you're not necessarily have to think about preparing something each and every day, stews, soups, and chowders like are really good go-tos. That's my one thing to add. Bobby, your turn. Or Kenny, or Rasmi. Or Mike.
What? No. You don't want to hear my advice.
How do you get a faster Fran time? What are you eating?
Freaking peanut butter and tortillas, fool.
Ah, that's why.
Rasmi, what do you have to add to this? The Mr. Food Prep King.
I mean, I would honestly just kind of stuck, but I would just purchase like healthier options, you know, like for instance, a mistake that we've made at home was buying a whole bunch of chips, snacks, candy, and stuff like that that are not healthy, you know. So my little health tip would be like to not overfill your pantry with unhealthy snacks. Fill it with like healthier options like nuts, dried fruits, or stuff like that, you know, because then if we're going to be snacking, we're going to be snacking on healthier stuff with like higher nutrients, as opposed to filling our bodies with like chips and candy and stuff like that. So that's my little take, because I've been eating chips like every single few hours, and it's been bad. I'm not gonna lie, you know, like all of this has been bad, but it's definitely a learning experience this week. I've made better habits. I started fasting like Warren. I stopped eating my breakfast. I'll wait until around noon. Well, when I started to feel a little hungrier, and I'll eat my first meal then. And then I'll keep my 3 meals between 1 to like 8 p.m. and I'll end my meals in that time. But yeah, healthier snacks would be my tip. And I think that goes a long way, in my opinion.
Yeah, not like when I put all over my Instagram, like all the pints of Ben and Jerry's. Sorry, guys.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
Go
Jess.
for it.
What healthy snacks do you eat? Delicious. Asking for a friend.
I have a lot of like the light string cheese, because that's a good protein and there's not a lot of fat in it. So I bought a whole lot of those. That's like my one go-to snack that I eat a lot of. The other one I did, hold on, I'll be right back.
Recipe number 2.
I was gonna say I have Greek yogurt. That's a good one.
Good one.
Fruit or frozen berries in it. Also, along the line of string cheese, is my mom likes to just do deli and with avocado in it and make little wraps. So like any kind of deli meat is really easy, especially right now with cheese or avocado, or even like a little bit of mustard, like a low carb protein thing.
I'm gonna shout out Kenny right here. These outright bars are bomb. I have the cookies and cream, the chocolate chip, and the toffee ones. They're so good.
Yeah.
A little bit high on the fat side, but I mean, they're yummy.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that we got at the farmer's market are these little dips, and then you can get some like rice crackers or something. This has like feta, sun-dried tomato, and basil on the bottom. So it's really, really yummy with some like pita chips or something. Ooh, nuts are good. Oh yes, Joni, unmute yourself there.
You can also, oh, am I supposed to talk? Go ahead.
Oh, sure, Joni.
So I get
didn't
these from Jamie, from Dr. Jamie, the nut balls, and
Oh,
I
yeah,
love
those are
them.
good.
They're really good. Healthy snack.
Any else healthy snacks?
Almond butter.
Mhm.
Almond butter is also a healthy snack. And like those protein pancake mix, I like to keep those in handy because it's like a 5-minute pancake operation make where
Kodiak?
it's so quick when you're craving something at night and you want something that's kind of sweet, and then you just put some almond butter on it, and pretty healthy snack.
A fruit with some sort of fat is always good. Usually like some more almond butter or peanut butter. I like those combos.
I have
Like,
a question for Kenny.
I think Kenny just got home. Oh, there he is.
Shoot, man.
Yo, so during this time, like I've always had some questions with like daily vitamins that I should be intaking on a daily basis to help, because I don't take anything crazy as like turmeric or like what you spoke about a few minutes ago, but I was wondering what are some essentials that we should incorporate into our daily routine during this type of like time to help.
Like
My-
just something to just keep you healthy in the long run, or something more specific, like the immune system is a hot topic right now?
I think like for the long term.
Just for like longevity?
Yes.
You know, as like athletes, I think zinc is something that should be, you know, on top of that list. Zinc is something that we expend a lot of, you know, working out. So we do require more than the typical person. So zinc, I think, should be on the top of that list. And it's also great for the immune system as well, too. Vitamin D, that is something that a lot of us are lacking in. You know, if you're somebody who especially is not out in the sun a lot, vitamin D is something that you should be aiming to get. You know, dosing of around 5,000 IUs a day is something that's great. Basically, all the fat-soluble vitamins, vitamins A, E, D, and K. Those are things that we should typically always try and get. You know, there are great multivitamins out there that you can get that'll kind of cover all those bases. If you wanted to just go with the great multivitamin, I like the vegan-based ones, where the vitamins are sourced from vegetables. They're not sourced from animals, so it's more natural for your body to absorb, and it's just healthier in the long run. But I think zinc and then just the fat-soluble vitamins, A, E, D, and K, you know, are great starting points to go with. Or if you just want to get all of them, just, you know, get a good quality vegan-based multivitamin, and you can kind of look at the dosing on each of those vitamins as well, too. Does that help? Hopefully that helps.
That helps a ton. Thank you.
Okay.
I got this one from Kenny's shop. This was good because it has, it's not a one a day. I know Kenny preaches a lot about not taking one a days because there's no way that your body can absorb a one a day.
Yeah.
So this one actually has a packet of, I think 8 different pills that you take throughout the day. So if you are going to go for a multivitamin, try to get a non one a day or something in liquid form.
Yes. And then like that one that you just showed, so that one has actually, that actually has 5,000 IUs of vitamin D in there. And it also has 30 milligrams of that zinc. So you are getting fairly high doses of it. But that specific vitamin also has probiotics and digestive enzymes too. So it's going to keep your gut very healthy, especially now, you know, with the immune system being, you know, such a hot topic. Probiotics and digestive enzymes, keeping the gut healthy, keeps the immune system strong. But the one that he was showing too also has stuff in there for adaptive stress. It has a little bit of the ashwagandha in there and a little bit of curcumin too. So it's going to help you to adapt to stress a lot more efficiently, and the curcumin will help with the inflammation.
Hey, Kenny, if we go into the store, will someone help us purchase the right vitamins?
So right now, I think because you guys are near the Hawaiian Gardens location, right?
Yeah.
So right now, unfortunately, we had to close that one until further notice, just with kind of everything that's going on right now with COVID-19, just for the safety of our staff members. So we did have to close that one. We'll reopen it as soon as we kind of get the green light. But yeah, you can, if you wanted to come out to our Whittier location, or if you wanted to DM me or call me, I can always walk you through the process. I'm picking out the correct supplements for you or the correct vitamins for you. If you aren't able to drive out to our video location, we can always get it shipped to you.
Awesome. Yeah, so it's almost been about an hour. We have about 10 minutes left. I just wanted to kind of close out and see if anyone else had anything to add, but I mean, this is a crazy time right now. It's just really weird. None of us have ever gone through this. This social distancing has got everybody trying to make changes and adjustments in order to figure out how to best navigate through this. So I think right now, to be honest, it's probably the best time to experiment and try new things, because honestly, you got a ton of time. Right now, there's an abundance of time. And I think that's one thing that many of us, myself included, have always made the excuse that I don't have enough time to try something else or try something new or do something new. I mean, right now is the best time, you know what I mean? You got plenty of time to keep trying and mess up and try again, and hopefully eventually find the right mixture of things that will work as we kind of navigate through this whole entire thing. So I know for myself, I'm just trying to do a lot of different things that I haven't done before. We're doing a good amount of cooking at home together as a family, which before, cooking in our house wasn't necessarily a family affair, right? For those of you who have families, I know that the boys have actually taken a liking to actually cooking with us, when we do it on the weekends. So maybe, starting to incorporate your kids into helping you cook, right? Because, it'd be nice to have a chef at home at some point. But I definitely think, trying new things, just incorporating your families and including everybody and making a thing out of it, right? Where, just like for a lot of us, especially at Tribe, we've made fitness more of a family thing, right? A family affair. We have a lot of families that work out at the gym together. Why not take it a step further and make nutrition and cooking more of a family affair? So everybody is, we're kind of building those habits together with our kids, or just with our families. Anyone else have anything to add?
I do. Raise my hand. But I just wanted to let you guys know that there are like an abundance of recipes online. There's so many different recipes from like different cultures that you can try at home, and it's so easy to follow. I've learned how to cook from Google. I've learned how to build different recipes from Google. And right now, what I've been doing at home a little bit more was just going through a cookbook I just recently bought, and just trying those out. They're fun, and the food ends up tasting a little bit like kind of off, but as you get a little bit more creative and you play around with your ingredients a little bit more, the food starts tasting better over time. So yeah, don't use Google as your like big helper to finding different recipes, and you can really cook something that you always enjoyed eating when you go out to eat at home, if you really like spend some time on the computer just researching.
I have one more thing. Okay.
Oh,
Am I allowed to talk, Warren?
no,
Can I say one more thing?
sure.
Okay. Just to kind of go off on what Warren said a little bit too, is just use this time as, I'm a big person. You guys have probably heard me in the gym before, and like people get mad at me sometimes when I say like, oh, adversity, like, oh, no music, work out with no music, it's adversity. Just think of this time as a time of adversity. All of our schedules are messed up. We're not in our normal routines. I can't weightlift anymore, but I'm using it as a time to really focus on my movement patterns, focus on therapeutic exercise that I haven't been able to do, kind of change things up a bit, because change is always good. It just depends on how you look at it. Same thing with nutrition. You're probably not you're gonna have the same thing, you know, every single day, most likely, like Bobby said. But at the end of the day, it's really not that big of a deal. It's just adversity and it's just change. And it can be stressful, but like Warren said, use this time to kind of cultivate your new nutrition plan to just give you a sense of control when you feel like you're out of control. Because a lot of these things are out of our control, and all we can do is kind of focus on our nutrition and what we're doing every single day with our families. So just use it as an adversity lesson and do something good for yourself, and don't buy any more Ben and Jerry's like I did. So no more of that.
Thanks, Tori. Joni, you want to ask something? Go
I
ahead.
just wanted to tell you guys how much I've been enjoying the home WODs. And I've actually been working out more since I'm at home and we're not really supposed to be going anywhere or whatever. So I just really appreciate these meetings, and I appreciate the challenge and the home WODs. And I live alone, even though I have people near me. It just helps me feel connected to you guys. And I just want you to know how much I appreciate everything you're doing. So yay, big hug.
Thanks, Joni. I'll hug you from here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Jess, for the heart. Anyone else? Bobby, Kenny, you want to close with anything? Okay. I do have one last thing. In terms of getting food, farmers markets are still open. So if you do want to get out for a little bit, farmers markets, the Buena Park one was open this weekend and it was completely empty. There was like no people there, no line, and lots of good food. So if you're worried about getting good food, there's a lot of good food at your local farmers markets. Not just vegetables and stuff, but the one that we have, that's where I got that dip from. There's a lady that sells all these various dips. There's another guy that sells all the like dried fruits and bulk foods, all those types of things. There's another guy that sells bread. So you can pretty much find anything other than meat, but I know some farmers markets even have like, you know, the local like chicken guys or whatever. So don't look for your local farmers market, and you can always find some good stuff there. I think that's it. Anyone else have any final questions? Cool. Well, good luck, everybody. Like I said, we're all in this together. Like Joni eloquently put, we're all in this together, and we'll get through this together. We're not all alone in this. Everybody's struggling. Everybody's having a hard time right now adjusting to this new life that we have for at least the next month or so. But we can come out of this tribe stronger. That might be just the new hashtag forever. Not just tribe stronger, tribe strong, but tribe stronger. And then when something else happens again, it'll be tribe strongest, maybe, or tribe strongest after that.
Stronger.
All right, that's it. Okay, before Tori gives me the thumb down, I'm gonna, oh goodness. Okay, thanks everybody. Love you guys. Keep on the lookout for more announcements and stuff. I'm probably gonna start doing like a weekly check-in with everybody. Maybe just do like another ZoomWOD like this, or not ZoomWOD, but like a Zoom meeting just once a week to get everybody together and just kind of get a pulse and see how everybody's doing. So we'll probably do that maybe every Monday. And I'll just take a poll in the group to see how that works, see what people want to do. But have a good night, everybody. ZoomWOD tomorrow is at 6 p.m. And we'll see you guys then. All right, guys, have a good night. Peace.